Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Fire Pod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast, friendly to the first-time watcher and the rewatcher alike. I am your rewatcher, Colton Robertson. I'm joined by my first-time watcher, Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. How are you feeling after episode 4, Rest in Pain?
Well, I thought that it got as complicated that it would get last episode. No. We got a lot of other players. I feel like the chessboard just grew, or there's a couple other pieces that were added onto the board here, and I guess not as in a confusing as a way as his dream.
It's
or
not as
vision,
esoteric.
or
It's just kind of
wanna
like,
call it. Yeah,
what?
But
There's
man,
so much. It's so much bigger than you
oh my
thought
God.
previously.
And then obviously the funeral goes down. That's quite the scene there. Poor Leland. You know, dude's just really going through it. Yeah, I don't know. He's not doing too well. You know, I mean, I want to say that you really can't blame the guy, because I don't know. Like I don't know how I would be in
yeah.
this
I mean,
situation.
losing a daughter. It's
Yeah.
losing a child. That's a devastating loss. But
the full belly flop onto that I don't know. There's a line, you know, and I think I don't know. Yeah, I get that was
just
the only
a good
thing.
sign of how much Leland is, losing it a bit. His
Man.
grief is overtaking him. But this is
goddamn TV show.
Oh, dude.
The fucking, what's it called? The
Invitation
the
to
sitcom that
Love.
everyone watches. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I decided to end it all tonight because my daughter, I don't know, something about my loving
I
daughter.
hope you forgive me, daughter. Yeah, like all that.
God,
Yeah,
like,
it's brutal.
no.
Leland's definitely going through it. But interestingly enough, season 1, episode 4, Rest in Pain, released on April 26th, 1990, and it is the first one that is not written by Frost and Lynch. It is written by Harley Payton and directed by Tina Rathbone or Rathborn.
Wow.
Yeah, so nice little switch up here. You know, we expand the story in a way. We expand the writing room and the director's chair and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're in a new league here. Let's go ahead and get into a scene by scene breakdown, and we can talk about it as we go.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, then we will start at the Great Northern, where Audrey watches Cooper walk down the hallway towards her. She is titillated by his very presence. She greets him by the fireplace, and he asks her to join him for breakfast, commenting that she has a lovely perfume that she is wearing. And he asks her immediately to go ahead and write her name down for him on this piece of paper. And he immediately is like, all right, well, so you wrote the note to me the other day. Let's talk about that. And she says, she wanted to help him for Laura. And he's like, well, you said you weren't particularly close with Laura. And she says, no, I wasn't, but I understood her better than the rest of them. Interesting little tidbit.
Yeah.
Again, love me some Audrey. She is an enigma, and I dig her vibe. Incredible vibe coming off Audrey.
Yeah. She's, I don't know what to call her. Just Pink Panther's the one. I don't know. Just very. But that doesn't feel right completely. I don't know. There's this air to her.
Yeah,
Man,
she's got that sleuthy. Yeah, she's got a weird thing going on. I dig it.
It's her theme that does come up every time. Like anything is getting mysterious or anything. Like it is just her kind of jazzy thing that pops up. Which I don't know. It seems now this episode she knows a lot more than I laid on. That's for sure.
Yeah, she alludes to One-Eyed Jacks, which I'm not going to lie to you. I'd forgotten she was the first person to last week whenever I said I don't really remember. I genuinely didn't remember. I wasn't trying to feign ignorance for you. We assumed it was Audrey, and obviously we assumed that properly because it was the only thing that made sense. But I don't really recall why she was like, One-Eyed Jacks, that's, and why she was so vague about it. And I don't know, it is an interesting tact. And, he's like, all right, so what's the deal with One-Eyed Jacks? And she's like, well, men go there. And he goes, okay, what about women? She goes, well, women work there. And he's like, okay, so, sounds good. I got to go ahead and meet with Sheriff Truman and Lucy. You go ahead and bounce, and we can talk about this later, Audrey, all right? Be safe now. And she's like, okay. And she wanders on off. But Truman and Lucy sit down, and Cooper orders breakfast. And when the waitress leaves, Truman's like, "So who killed Laura Palmer?" And he's like, "Harry, let me tell you about the dream I had last night." I'd be like, "God damn it, Coop. No, I need to know who killed Laura Palmer." But, he goes, "Let me tell you about the dream I had last night." And he goes, "Tibetan?" He goes, "No, different kind of a dream." And he says, we break the code, solve the crime. That's the key. And Lucy writes that down, and he explains every little bit of his... Break the code, solve the crime. Can't remember that. Got to write it down. And I love that she writes that down, but doesn't write down... It doesn't seem like she writes down all the important stuff that he spews after, which is all the stuff that they actually need to crack. But he explains the... Oh, yeah.
They were in it.
You're enraptured. Yeah. You're enraptured by it. But yeah, he explains that Truman was there, Lucy was there, and so was everyone else. And he saw Laura's mom have a vision of the killer, and all this good stuff that we talked about extensively last week. He mentions Mike and Bob, to which Harry Truman reasonably goes, "Mike and Bobby," and he goes, "Nope, different Mike and Bob." Do you trust Truman's gut here, or do you feel like he might not be exploring it fully?
I still don't know, because I guess the only thing I've rewatched other than the episode just now, like I guess I have 2 watches of this episode, but I went back just to check out the dream sequence a couple more times, and Cooper starts old. It's not that he gets to the red room and then is old. The first image of when he falls asleep is him old in the red room already.
And so, during this sequence, when he explains it is suddenly 25 years later.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's the thing, is that he is intuitively understanding things about the dream that are not expressly said to him, which does indicate to me, as a viewer, that Mike and Bob are not Mike and Bobby.
Yeah, I want to trust Cooper's gut, because he seems to have this system down, and this is how he operates. But as my gut, it feels, I don't know. He does just say, no, they're different, different, and moves on as if I don't know, no importance to it, whatever. I think he would have at least put the thought out there of oh, I'm old, Bob and Mike, similar name. He would have thought that himself before, but I don't know what tells him that they're different. Maybe it is just the age, and they do look just wildly, I don't know. They don't look like they would look like if they grew up. I don't know, and that's enough. But
so you're still not committing to the idea that Mike and Bob are different than Mike and Bobby?
I'm holding on a little bit. I think it might just be kind of 50-50 right now. I don't know exactly where to land, but because my initial gut took me to they were the same is more likely, and that it is just kind of in the future. And the convenience store thing is the only thing that is well, if this is going to be used later to reveal something, or if this is the present day, whatever, that we're seeing this Bob and Mike, and they find them living above a convenience store. I feel like that's the only reason you mention that, is if they're located, or I don't know, maybe they might not be there when they get there, but I feel like that's kind of a clue to go on. And that wouldn't work with obviously the young
present Mike and
Bobby,
Bob.
So there's parts that where it falls apart, and then but he does just say suddenly it's 25 years later, and that it feels just very intuitive to him. So I'm not exactly sure, but
gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Bobby, he doesn't do himself strictly any favors in, temperamentally distinguishing himself from the gentleman we see in the dream, this episode. So, there is that, but,
that's true.
He explain. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna it. They don't have to look like the. I don't know. That's just kind of like a casting thing, and this dude was just creepy. He just needed to be creepy and was pulled in, and all right, you're playing this guy. So I mean, it could be revealed that maybe I'm taking too much of just looks into an account, or into account. But yeah, I don't. I'm still I don't know. I'm still just very
You're not certain
lost.
either way. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. But he makes note of the Fire Walk with Me slogan that they did see on the piece of paper. He says that it was a tattoo on the one-armed man. He cut it off, severing his connection to Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, what do we do? And he's like, break the code, solve the crime. That's what we got to do. And just then, Harry gets a radio message that there is a fight at the morgue. And we cut to Albert Rosenfield and Dr. Hayward arguing over whether to release Laura Palmer's body for the funeral. And this is brutal, dude. Albert insults everybody. And frankly, what a bard. This dude is a Shakespearean fella. I love the, oh yeah, well, I've had about enough of this small town filled with morons and half-wits, dolts, dunces, dullards, and dumbbells, and you chowder-headed yokel, you blithering hayseed. Yeah. You've had enough of me? Bro can fucking spit. Mr. Horn, I realize that your position in this fair community pretty well guarantees venality, insincerity, and a rather irritating method of expressing yourself. Stupidity, however, is not necessarily an inherent trait. Therefore, please listen closely. You can have a funeral any old time. You dig a hole, you plan a coffin. I, however, cannot perform these tests next year, next month, next week, or tomorrow. I must perform them now. I've got a lot of cutting and pasting to do, gentlemen, so why don't you please return to your porch rockers and resume whittling? Like, dude is a fucking...
Man.
Obviously, he is an absolute asshole. Absolute asshole. But, dude...
Whoa.
If there's any one way he goes off, you love him coming after Mr. Horn right there. You don't love him coming after Doc, and you don't love him coming after Truman. But and I appreciate also Horn being like, we understand that what you do is very important, but how about we have a little sensitivity here? And he's like, you're a fucking douchebag.
Yeah,
I love that.
Horn, that was kind of crazy. Even he was like, dude, come on, man. Like, I mean, even evil, you know. I mean, maybe he's not the most evil. I don't know. It looks like there might be far greater evil in the town than I was once thinking, but no, this is he. The drill though into the skull.
Yeah, that was brutal. Just,
bro,
I was like,
while they're all there, I don't know. Yeah, the dude just. I feel like he's kind of on a power trip, right? Like this is. Like there's zero sensitivity, almost like negative sensitivity. He is wanting to do as much damage, but you know, you're right. He is a poet. The dude is.
He actually delivers my favorite line of the episode, just because it's a good sentiment to carry with you in general, which is, I do not suffer fools gladly, and fools with badges never. I love that line. Just and it's funny coming from an FBI agent, you know, like I do not suffer fools gladly, and fools with badges never. And that, you know, coming from a dude who is being an asshole and is being incredibly dismissive, it rings hollow. But there's truth to that, you know. If he's like, if this guy wants to get in my way because he thinks he possesses power, he doesn't know any better than me. It's not a terrible sentiment. It's just directed at the wrong person. So yeah, I like the line. I don't love who it's about, but yeah, Albert needs to get his shit together. Coop kind of rips him a new one, and obviously Harry lets him have it, and he says, you know what, I have had enough, and he goes ahead and swings on him, punching him out and having him land sprawled across Laura Palmer's dead body, to which Albert says, well, isn't that appropriate, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for one, how did he not dodge this punch? He
wound the fuck up.
It was coming for I don't know, not seconds. That is, I don't know, but like a good. I feel like he knew this was coming. Like, I don't know. He's like, I'm honestly, maybe he was trying to get punched. I don't know, or maybe
he might be trying to get punched. And you know, I think he lets it happen because what he approaches Cooper about later on. You know, he's like, how about you? You know, sign this report for me, confirming my reports and stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And that's amongst my favorite scenes and lines. I just wanted to give a little love to Albert for his poetic nature when he speaks. Broken spit.
Yeah.
But another one of the most touching little moments here, and might be my favorite shot of the episode, whenever everyone leaves, the room clears, and Cooper stays behind and lifts Laura's hand to her chest. And Actually, I know for a fact that's my favorite shot of the episode. I took it down wrong in the sheet, but that one is it. I'd forgotten about it till I got to the breakdown here. It's just one of those tender moments that kind of indicates to you there's a really great noir sort of feel that this movie or this show can strike every once in a while that reminds me of the noir movies of the 40s. And one of those that comes to mind is a film called, oh, wow. Holy shit, don't know how I've never considered this, is a film from the 40s called Laura, which I've never, ever put together. And I don't know if that's for sure an influence, and I don't want to make it seem like Cooper is romantically infatuated with Laura Palmer, but he is gaining an empathy and love for her through investigating her death and seeing how loved she was. Whereas in the 40s noir Laura investigating this woman's death, the man legit falls in love with the woman whose death he's investigating. Really, really great movie. Strongly recommend. But yeah, just like this tender moment where he lifts her hand to her chest. He never knew Laura, but he might feel like he knows her better than anybody. It's an interesting moment to strike, and it's soft and it's tender. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like he's falling in love with more of the idea of what her death represents. Like how, I mean, he at the very end, I think you're right. Like one of the best scenes, whenever he's just going off, and kind of just being like, every man, woman, and child has been affected by this death, and like life has meaning, and
it's a form of existence I didn't think existed anymore.
Yeah,
but it does right here in Twin Peaks. Yeah,
enough for him to be like, yeah, I'm getting property. You like check the pension plan, or whatever. Like I gotta see what the finances
see what I can
say.
do here. Yeah,
but hey, yeah, good price. I feel like the rates would be down right now if he
probably
were to buy. Would be smart. But I don't know
what I
now.
expect would be an extremely reasonable price. Fucking what a G. I love Coop, man.
Yeah, and he
and
held
again
it down this episode.
hard to go with anybody else for character this week. I feel like this is gonna ring true most episodes. I don't believe I took anyone else down when I typed. Nope, I put him in as well.
Yep. He's the one. I don't know. He just held it down. And just as I think maybe it's just that because he's the only kind of outside perspective. Well, I guess what's the other agent's name? Oh man, Hayward, is that? No, that's Dr. Hayward.
It's Albert.
Albert, yeah, Albert. Albert's another outside perspective, I guess.
And no empathy in his heart at all. Yeah.
But no, Cooper is the only one who isn't in part of the town, and even though he didn't know Laura whatsoever, he's already like, I don't know, like not in love with her, but like it's crazy that he already is feeling just like the town, or like he fits in with everybody.
Yeah, people like him. He likes them. It's he fits right into the community. And I know that an FBI agent's responsibility in this scenario, when you feel like you are tracking a serial killer potentially, is to go to the funeral. But you can tell it's not just duty which is calling him to the funeral. Like he's whenever him and Harry leave that scene with Albert to go to the funeral, Harry's like, "Excuse us, we have a funeral to get to. Like we have a funeral to get to. You get the fuck out of here. It's he belongs with us here." And I think it's a cool moment to strike. But we will get to that before long. But yeah, great scene. An episode full of great scenes. Really, there's a lot of great moments here. But Leland watches Invitation to Love at home as a nurse gives him a shot, and as you said, the father in the show is talking about killing himself, and it's brutal. They're trying to sedate Leland ahead of the funeral, and the doorbell rings, and a young woman enters, Madeline, who is identical to Laura Palmer. Her cousin.
Yeah. What the fuck? What is this about? I don't know. Like, I didn't think of this as anything before. In the dream, the cousin that looks just like her, and then just different colored hair. But I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, because they were focusing on her face a little bit too, like it was just there. I don't know, and she just kind of stood still.
She smiles. She does the same smile that you see the picture of every time. It's Cheryl Lee. It's the same actress. So, like there's an obvious connection there, but this is my cousin. Doesn't she look exactly like Laura Palmer? Obviously, this is the cousin who looks exactly like Laura Palmer. We've already got a connection there to the dream straight away here in this episode. So, and not the last one of the episode either. But aside from her glasses
alive.
and hair,
or not, like, is that what's going on? Is that the cousin is dead and this is Laura? Like, is that, that is like how in the dream, I guess, I still don't know about the man in the other place, or
man from another place. Yeah.
Man from another place. I still don't know whether he's a real being, he was alive before, or who, or if he's just there, I don't know. But at least them both talking backwards, to me, just was like, well, they are dead, or they are not in this realm, dimension,
they don't,
whatever.
They don't belong to this plane.
And so they're, at least I thought that both would be dead, and that just makes sense. But if that's the cousin, and that's what he's saying, that's the cousin that looks just like her, well, then are we dealing with a good old classic switcheroo situation? But then,
I'm actually going to tell you outright that is not the case. That's not something I feel like ruins anything. I feel like, if anything, it will clear things up going forward. Madeline is genuinely Laura Palmer's cousin. And Laura Palmer is genuinely dead.
I was gonna say, what does Laura really gain for this switcheroo?
Yeah. There's no switcheroo involved here, and that's something that, like, going forward, as long as you don't have that suspicion, it will clear your mind for Madeline's storyline, which I think is important. That's why I'm like, I don't want you to, every time she's on screen, concern yourself with whether or not it's actually Laura. It's not. It is.
Laura?
Yeah. It's actually Madeline. Actually a cousin who looks almost exactly like Laura. So yeah, I think it was just it's another indication that there is something about this dream that does connect to the real world, but isn't to be taken so literally,
Okay.
But
weird is, I'm assuming maybe she just lives out of town and they're just in town for the funeral, and this is just
she's in town for the funeral. They haven't dove into this yet, but she's from Missoula, Montana, which is cool. David Lynch was born in Missoula, Montana, so that's a nice little reference there. She's from out of town. She's coming to visit for the funeral. She calls him Uncle Leland and gives him a hug and says that she's so sorry. And Leland is obviously aghast at seeing Madeline for what seems like the first time in years, basically looking on his own daughter's face. Definitely a tough moment for Leland there.
He doesn't have many easy moments. I don't think. I think the man's just he's had it rough ever since. I don't know. Sheriff
ever since
came up to him.
Ever since
he dropped the phone. I don't think dude has had one good moment. At the end there, he was dancing. It seemed that he was having fun actually for a little, like 2 seconds. At the end.
I would maybe one, maybe even half of that, maybe even half of that. Bro. For a brief moment, he feels the music, and you see like a brief smile, and then it immediately withers away, and he's like, "Oh God, she's gone. I'm done." It all comes back immediately. But we'll then cut to the double R, where Norma discusses her husband's good behavior in prison, and that he might be released soon. It's Hank's parole officer that's here, Wilson Mooney. Hank Jennings is her husband that's locked away right now. And he's like, "So how are you going to help? How are you going to help out? How are you going to help him get employment?" She's like, "Well, I own this fucking joint, Wilson." And he's like, "Oh, you must get a lot of potential suitors coming in. What do you do to steer them off?" And he's like, "Well," and she's like, "Well, I tell them I have a homicidally jealous husband who's doing 3 to 5 for manslaughter, and he might be getting released real soon." And he's like, "Good enough for me." You can tell he was like kind of macking on her a little bit, and then he's like, "Okay, touche. I guess I knew all that." But
but when you put it that way, it's a little glaringly obvious.
Norma rocks, dude. I do love Norma. I think she's great. I'm excited for you to meet Hank. We're not far off from meeting Hank.
I'm scared. If Big Ed is worried about Hank, I'm worried about Hank. I got a lot of worry. This, he's been in prison, so like I feel like I don't know. I guess I don't know if he's like a mob bot, a kingpin.
No, he's in prison. He's in prison
shots.
for manslaughter. So.
Yeah. Or if he is a player in the game, it doesn't sound like it. Is what I'm. Yeah, I don't think I have any suspicions of him. Unless
he'll be important, but he's been in prison for at least 3 years, is what it sounds like. If she said 3 to 5, is kind of how I take it. Yeah. But
okay,
and
there is like a Twin Peaks prison, like near, I guess. I don't know.
I guess we have the jail, which is in the sheriff's department, but he's obviously not there. I don't know where the prison is located. It's prison. It's not jail. It's prison. So like it's a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't know that we ever visit a prison. If we do, I can't recall. Well, I guess we do. We see the interior of the prison. I don't think we ever like pull up to it though.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll come. Anyway, later on, Cooper and the sheriff visit Leo Johnson at his home, and he's like, so, what's the deal with Leo? His name's come up a lot, but he doesn't seem to have any tangible connection. What's going on? And he's like, well, you see, Leo's the kind of guy you keep on a list, and you keep a fucking eye on him, but we have not actually caught him doing anything illegal, which is like, how the fuck is that possible? I
don't know. Well, maybe he's good at hiding it. Maybe
he's good at hiding.
He knows what he's doing.
This is the only thing he's intelligent about, apparently. But they go ahead and question him about his relationship with Laura. How you know Laura? And he's like, I didn't. How well did you know her? I said I didn't. And he explains that everybody knew who she was, but he never really knew her. And obviously a lie also. And he asks him if he has any criminal record, and Leo goes, no. And then Cooper's like, all right, well, actually, I know for a fact you do. Several things, in fact. This aggravated assault. Yeah, the U-turn. Illegal U-turn.
Started off crazy.
Aggravated assault with charges dropped. That's
that
a big
one will
one.
do it. That one will do it. Is that Norma? Or not Norma? Shelley, yeah.
I don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know. Maybe not, because she's still around, and that feels like something that would, if she did take that step, hopefully she would get out of it eventually. But I don't know. You never know. Things like that are fucked. But they ask where he was the night of the murder, and he explains that he called his wife Shelley from Butte, Montana, which we recalled can't be true.
He don't have a phone in the truck,
and he was home way too fast. So if they do approach Shelley about this, might not go his way.
And that it'll be interesting to see if because he does just say this, and he is pretty confident that if you ask her, she will say it. So I wonder if like during the beating or at some point,
and that's the other thing too, is how much is she going to protect her husband, and also the reason she found out is because she was actively about to engage in her affair with Bobby, and it's like, is there, how much does she feel like she shouldn't just explain any of that and just go, yeah, he called me from there. But
she's doing something. There is, I don't know, she's planning or plotting something. I guess that's the one part of the episode.
Shelley's got a gun.
Is this just for her own personal protection, or is this like
Jay's got a gun? Just self-defense. Her husband did just beat her within the last couple episodes, so there's something there. But we'll go to the aforementioned secret lover Bobby, who at home is in a suit stretching in front of a crucifix, imitating Jesus. And his father's like, perhaps now is a good time for a talk, Robert. And the major lectures about funerals and responsibility while Bobby plays with his lighter. And the major goes on a lot of the similar stuff he talked about last week. I'm prone to lecture to you, which is good. Perhaps I can impart some wisdom and you can listen. These are all good things. If you look at the
poet, honestly, like Albert,
I'm glad I fuck with this man so heavy. I love the Major Garland Briggs, a real G.
He can communicate unlike anyone. I don't know. His ideas are just so. I mean, it is very robotic, whatever.
He's a military man, yeah.
But I mean, man, is it? It's not at least just like commands or like simple commands and stuff.
He's not. He also doesn't seem strict. He seems like a really laid back, open-minded fella while still carrying himself like a military man. He's kind of the ideal military man, in fact.
I know. But I mean, I guess we got the ideal FBI agent, the ideal sheriff, and the ideal freaking military man, kind of all.
We got all of them. We got all of them right here.
Town, I don't know.
Yeah, good place, Twin Peaks. But it's so funny. I don't know what it was. Sometimes I don't dig into like the cast list of the show and everything and dig in because I know a few of the people at the top of the casting sheet and all that good stuff. But you know, sometimes I'll watch the names pop up and it'll be like this name, and the first time that I saw Don Davis, I was like, that is Garland Briggs. I don't know, I can guarantee you that's who. And I looked it up. It is absolutely Garland Briggs. I don't know why. I'm like, that man is named Don Davis. You can tell just looking at him. But
wow, yeah, but that's awesome. Don Davis. You just had to know. I don't know. I wonder if I'll have one of those. I'll pay attention to the intro.
I like, and there's a lot of good names, and there will be at least one. I'm pretty sure where you'll be like, oh well, that's him. But we'll see about it. But yeah, the major says Bobby doesn't need to be afraid about the funeral. After Bobby asks, like, what's the good of burying somebody, and it's man's way of finding closure. And he goes, you don't need to be afraid, Bobby. He goes, afraid. I'm gonna burn the thing down.
Damn.
And
bro had a plan.
I went with Dana Ashbrook as Bobby Briggs for my performance this week. I think he does. We've alluded to the fact in recent weeks that he is so good at playing this archetype. And I think this is the first episode you get to see him play a lot of nuance and kind of show you a more fragile side of Bobby. Which we will become more familiar with. We've seen him kind of take control and be imposing and kind of exert his will where he wants to, kind of put on a tough act in a front that's like, I'm the man, I'm the shit, y'all about to smell it. But what he does at the funeral, I feel like really shows that he's got more to him a little bit, you know?
Oh yeah.
And this is still part of that front, but it's the cracks are showing, I feel like. But yeah, he shouts until his mother, Betty, enters and asks if everyone is ready to go. Everyone ready to go? And they just kind of sit there, and he's like seething and stuff. I don't know. I love it. But back at the station, Deputy Hawk reports that he has been unable to find the one-armed man, and Cooper tells him to keep on trying. And Harry's like, well, if anybody can find him, it's Hawk. And Cooper's like, Tracker? He goes, yeah. And he's like, ha ha. I love their like little moments. They have like little moments that are better than anybody in the show.
Yep. Look at the ducks on the lake. Or
ducks on the lake. Yeah, that was before the Leo Johnson.
Who's this Leo Johnson guy? Yeah, he's like, it's like, it's so.
Look at that. Ducks on the lake. Yeah. Isn't that something? All right, who the fuck is Leo? Yeah, no, it's good stuff. But
is he a tracker? One of the best. Ooh, whoa! He's like, whoa. Yeah, I think he's like, whoa.
He acts like he gets chills or something. He's like, but Cooper and Harry.
Cool.
Oh, I love it. Cooper and Harry meet with Albert to receive his report. He's like, what'd you find? Albert says, well, enough to save your butt and get mine out of here. He says that Laura Palmer had cocaine in her system and in her diary. Breaking news: the old lady had a habit. He explains that they found twine, which had been around her wrist and around her elbows, tied in two different places on two separate occasions that night. And he provides an example of how her arms would have been tied, and it immediately makes Cooper think of what he received the information for.
That was
sometimes my arms bend back.
Definitely the line that I was like, huh? At least what my thought was like, if you spend enough time in this realm dimension, you eventually, your body just decreps and whatever. But here,
again, one of those good examples of things not to be taken so literally. Yeah.
Yes. But I like this implication. I like a lot more. And I don't think it's only this one event in which it happened. Sometimes my arm's been back, as in. I don't think she's just talking very recently. Back.
Yeah,
she's like, this is something that happens regularly, and that only leads me to believe she's working at One-Eyed Jack's. And I mean, she worked at the perfume counter.
She did work at the perfume counter. We did get that bit of information.
And Audrey,
which is the connection I was telling you about, that I was like, how the fuck have you not made a connection between Ronette and Laura if they worked in the same place?
They literally worked, yeah. I guess where someone works, I don't know, just to check that.
Feels a little important.
Where they go often, all the time? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe, but okay. But yeah, no, Audrey not knowing is interesting because whenever she says, like, I knew her better than most people, made me think that, like, she knows what goes down at One-Eyed Jack's and knew that Laura was part of that program, whatever, and felt for her. Like, not a lot of people knew that Laura was doing that, but Audrey did. So she's like, yeah, I understand her more than other people. But then her saying, I don't know if she worked there. She knew that Laura worked at the perfume counter, but not One-Eyed Jack's. And maybe she is hiding information. I don't know. But I mean, there's a lot going on with her.
Let me go back to that for a second. You know, we talked about it briefly, but I do want to emphasize it a little bit. What do you think she means when she says that she thinks that she understood Laura better than most, or than the rest of them?
The only thing that makes sense to me is, like, if she knew that Laura worked at One-Eyed Jack's and just understood what those women go through, which could make sense if she just knows about it, would make even more sense if she worked there but you know, maybe just being the daughter of someone wealthy she's immune from that. I don't know. And
you know, the horns also pulled up. You know, Ben, her dad and her uncle came, and the Blackie was like, the horns are here. Let's go ahead and get the party ready. You know, like, so there is a certain, like, would Ben be okay going there if his daughter worked there? I don't know, like, how sick is this guy?
That's
sort
true.
of vibe.
That's true.
But
that would they do seem like regulars. At least Audrey not knowing whether Laura worked at One-Eyed Jack's or not. That's an interesting I don't know. Because it's not no, it's not yes, it is I don't know.
Like, she could have, maybe she did. I don't know.
But that it feels like there's a lot more that she's put, because she also sprayed the note with perfume. Like, she's like, come on, dude, you didn't put the perfume connection together, dude. Like, I don't, like, maybe that was the reason why she sprayed the card, not just for romantic feelings or whatever. And maybe
the slight slant in your handwriting indicates a romantic nature. Be careful.
Really interesting.
Does
if
it?
If you write to the right,
a slant to the right indicates a romantic nature. I think that another thing that we've talked about Audrey a lot with is just kind of the way she contains. She's mysterious. She seems like she's not just one thing. And I think that she might feel a more spiritual connection to Laura than she does anything else, just having observed her. I feel like that's something you could say Audrey has more than anybody else, is that she sits back and watches and listens. So I think that if anybody knows she was sleeping with other people aside from, or another person aside from Donna and James, it might be her. If I feel like Audrey's just kind of got her hands in all these pots, so she kind of understands everything. But yeah, she's the sleuth, you know, she gets to the bottom of things. But regardless, let's get back to the report here. But there were a bunch of claw marks also on her shoulder and something in her stomach. And there also appears to be, there was industrial hand soap or industrial soap found on the back of her neck, and he expects that the killer washed his hands and then cupped her neck while kissing her, like so. And he provides an example. But they find something in her stomach, a small plastic item, and he notes with interest the letter J.
Plastic, like is this another, R left in the fingernail. Maybe.
See, the R on the fingernail was a piece of paper, though. It wasn't plastic.
Mm-hmm. But a piece of paper would not survive the stomach.
That's true. That's true.
And just because, like, is it that it was a bigger piece before? He does say, like, I'm going back to reconstruct it, but all I can make out right now is the letter J. Is there
That's true.
to be more? Is that not just the one? Because if it's just the one letter, it feels like a serial killer mark sort of thing. But if there's more to be built or more letters to go off of, then but plastic. Like I feel like it can't be. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what object it could be, or like if it's someone's name, if it's
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
But
but I'm lost there as to what that is.
Yeah. And it will come to light. You will learn what it is. But yeah, Harry is like, I wonder what that could be, and Albert goes, look at it, it's thinking. And again, just kind of like, you can't help but kind of giggle. Like, that's kind of like, it's fucked up, but it's a little funny. But Harry excuses himself. He says, we have a funeral to attend. And on their way out, Albert stops Cooper, asks to speak alone. He explains a report concerning the assault on his person. I need you to sign this, corroborating the details. And Cooper's like, I'm not going to sign this, Albert. And he's like, why? You saw it. And he's like, well, you see, the locals here value life. And you seem to not. They're not, murder isn't just a statistic to tally up at the end of the day like it is for us. He includes himself. He's like, we are immune to this sort of thing. This murder has shaken this community to its core. It means something to them, Albert. So no, I think that Harry Truman should have done it sooner. In fact, the way that you are treating these people, you're lucky I don't write a report that would bury you so deep in an office in Washington you never see the light of day again. And Albert's like, all right, boss. Yep, deuces.
Can't say anything to that one. I love that he started with, I hope you can hear me. That is, I don't know. I've never heard that before. Or like,
that's hard.
It's not that I hope you're listening or like, I
hope I have your attention. I hope you can hear me.
Like, I hope what I'm saying is getting through to your head, but the most polite way to say it. I feel like it was.
It's so good.
My God, he's, I don't know.
He lets him have it, and it's why Coop is the character of the episode. Like, he's just, at least he was for me. He's just too good. Oh, yeah. The way he holds it down for the people of Twin Peaks. The way Harry's already been like, accepted him. He's there. He's them. They're with each other. Like, I love it. But Cooper makes a voice note to Diane after about checking the pension to see what he might be able to do to purchase some property in Twin Peaks. Yes. This is a good place, and he likes it here. But later on, Ed is inspecting the tchotchkes on the shelf. His wife, Nadine, runs up and embraces him, and she gushes about the previous night. Ed, you came back to me. I remember in high school whenever I watched you and Norma, and you were all over each other, but I just knew someday that we would end up together, even though I was just a little nobody.
Yeah, poor Ed. I don't know. He literally gave zero movement during a kiss. Or maybe
didn't do
the
a thing.
Slightest lip movement.
But eyes were open. Bro was obviously not in it. She is obviously projecting. Out. She is obviously projecting something onto the previous night. Like, no, that didn't happen. And then, she says, whose bike is that out there? Is that yours? And he goes, no, that's James, our nephew, who I think lives there. And
what?
She's like,
wait, he lives there?
I don't know where else he would live.
Yeah, wait. His parents are, one of them's dead and the other
I guess his parents, his dad's dead and his mom is checked out a little bit. She travels a lot. But so maybe he lives at home, but I don't know. I would assume
he's just always on the road. He's always on his bike.
He lives on the bike.
He has no home. The bike,
he's a drifter.
The road is his home.
Yeah. No, yeah. But
I can't go. I can't.
Yeah. It's Laura. It's Laura, James. And it's just one of the, again, you fuck with the Hurleys, man. Ed being like, it's Laura, James.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ed's not having it. Yeah,
not one bit. And he obviously wins this argument as James shows up at the funeral. But
yep.
Later on, Audrey is eavesdropping briefly at the Great Northern. She has her little secret passages in the walls, little House of the Dragon-esque.
Yes. Oh yeah. And
enters a secret passage and spies on her brother and Dr. Jacoby.
What a, I kind of hated on this man. I think a little bit too much at first was just calling him a weirdo. But you gotta admit,
I mean, he is a weirdo. He's eccentric for sure.
He's got results though. This is, I don't know how big of a moment this is for getting this headpiece off of Johnny's head, but it felt like this was one of the biggest moments in Johnny's life.
Yeah. No small thing. Yeah, and you hear Ben and the mom arguing in the background, and the mom's like, let the great Dr. Jacoby do his thing. Yes. I think it's so funny that she labels him the great Dr. Jacoby.
Incredible. I mean, it seems, I don't know, it seemed he was even moved. Like, Jacoby was
they like
crying.
touch, they do the Kildabby kiss and everything. It's incredible. Yeah.
Oh my God. The dude is just... I don't know.
I think he shades himself a little too much at the end, personally.
That was not...
There's a balance. There's a little truth to that. I mean, definitely more than a little truth to that. But I think that as a therapist, the insecurity you might feel when something like this transpires has to be pretty immense. I don't know. Like, you could have done more, but you didn't do enough. Bobby literally calls that out during the funeral and everything. I don't know. It's a lot. But now we are at the funeral, where Reverend Clarence Brocklehurst reads a passage of scripture at the funeral.
Brocklehurst? Wow.
Yep.
Sorry.
Reverend Brocklehurst.
That is a name.
Quite the name.
Wow.
But yeah, he explains that he knew Laura personally very, very well. He taught her in Sunday school, and they prayed together, and she always said that he talked too much, so he'll keep it brief. But he will miss her for every day for the rest of his life. And Cooper watches as he gives this sermon, watches all the people there. His gaze falls on everybody. The shots of Donna are fucking gorgeous, by the way. I don't know why hers are particularly pretty, but they were very good looking. Everything. Audrey's hair looks incredible. The slicked back thing she's got going on, incredible. But yeah, her gaze falls on Bobby his gaze falls on Bobby specifically over and over. James walks over and watches from the distance, and as Reverend Clarence Brocklehurst wraps up his sermon, Johnny Horn shouts, "Amen! Amen!" And I appreciate the Reverend's embrace of this. He goes, "Thank you, Johnny."
Yes.
And then Bobby decides it's time. Amen! He shouts, and he says that the town is full of a bunch of hypocrites. They knew she was in trouble, but we didn't do anything. You know who killed Laura Palmer? We did.
Whoa.
And
kind of,
yeah, and this is that moment,
the game a little bit.
It does. Bobby kind of introduces a side to him that obviously, we talked a lot in episode 1 about how obviously Bobby didn't love Laura. He was cheating on her with Shelley, and he's not too affected. There's a whole lot, but high school love is complicated, I'm not saying it's ever okay to cheat on anybody, but I am saying it's possible to it's possible to love more than one person. And I do trust that while he might not have been in love with Laura, he possessed a great deal of affection for her, and empathy for her. And I feel like that kind of brims to the surface here, and his frustration with what is a death far too soon. And as his dad said, a man who dies in war has died too soon. And, Laura also died too soon. It just bubbles to the surface and it comes out in a big way. And he knows James and her were he knows that her and James had a thing. I think it kind of made it easier for him to feel like he could cheat on her with Shelley and all this stuff. So there's a lot going on, but James comes for him. Bobby goes at James. And says, "You're a dead man." Leland jumps on the coffin. The crane raises and lowers. Yeah. Sarah tells him not to ruin this too.
Oh no!
Yeah, just a lot. Just a lot.
But it is shaking up the town, and this is Bobby. I think what he said here of Like we all knew she was in trouble. I didn't have that notion, I guess, before that. Like it was that known that everyone knows that she was in trouble, and maybe there's some people that are in the know, and but I don't know. Like the greater evil that's out there, whatever is it just well known, and like it was Laura's struggles. Like at least that's Bobby's making it seem that way. Is that like yeah, like we knew that something was about to happen, and at least I didn't think that. Like it felt like it was unexpected. Of like what, Laura's dead, you know, and like I guess James, you know, there are some signs of like she definitely changed, but it was like a recent change. It was like a, well, she's been doing coke for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, she was like, and he doesn't expressly say that we knew she was going to be murdered or anything, but that like if you didn't turn a blind eye, if you accepted what was in front of you, you know, it's easy to go, oh, the homecoming queen, the woman or the girl who is in everybody's life, she's teaching her English and she's doing Meals on Wheels and she's doing all this. She can't have any problems because I don't expect her to have any problems. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Bobby, James, Donna, people like this might have a little more insight that might go, obviously she had more going on. And maybe there's a little bit of hindsight there, you know, like at the time, maybe it wasn't like we all knew she was in trouble, but now looking back, he can say that comfortably. Wow, why didn't we do anything about that? You know, like we can now seeing the signs, we can tell things were going wrong and we just couldn't see them then.
Yeah, I don't know, but good. At least I thought that it was going to be a lot worse from Bobby. I thought he was like really going to ruin it, but I don't know. I felt like he
it's probably not the time or place, but he says he says what needs to be said for sure.
Yeah, I mean he laid it out. I mean definitely got me to start thinking a little differently. I don't know about just about the town and how much that means, you know, how involved everyone is. I don't know. Like the Bookhouse Boys feel like they're just the people who are actively doing stuff about the like cocaine and drugs and everything. But like I feel like if just it being a small town, everyone knows who's fucking who. Like is this just another thing that people talk about, or is it kind of like we only want to let like only certain people do know and like certain people like that are in or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I take it to be the secret society they kind of indicate here. But regardless, at the diner, probably the worst look of Shelley we ever get. It's kind of brutal. Whenever she's entertaining customers by telling them about Leland's outburst at the funeral, and she's like imitating the coffin going up and down, and they're laughing, and she's laughing. It's like, oh man, I don't know. Like that's a rough look. But anyway, in the background we see Big Ed, Harry, and Deputy Hawk sitting there, and Ed is skeptical about trusting Cooper. He's not one of them, you know? And Harry's like, hey, trust me, man. This man is the shit. I love him. Already, I love this guy. So we're getting him in. And Cooper enters the diner and joins them. And Harry goes, Coop, how would you like a slice of huckleberry pie? And he's like, I would love a slice of pie. Norma comes over and he's like, slice of pie, heat it up, ice cream on the side, and a cup of coffee. And Norma's like, you're on it. Or I'm on it. And then she like glances at Ed. And Ed looks back up at her and he goes, all right, Ed, how long you been in love with Norma? And Ed's like, whoa, okay. And Harry tells him that, you know, coffee's on Ed. Yeah. He won a bet of some sort, but
yeah, the dude is just a walking body language.
Bro is Sherlock. But
actually, but Sherlock doesn't even have the dream power. I feel like this is he's
got the
Sherlock
mind palace, not quite the same thing.
Yeah,
but
true. Yeah, I guess Sherlock does it when he's awake. I guess, or he just focuses. But no, he's not having fucking people talk to him like that. He's just like compartmentalizing and like being like, oh, this is all the facts.
He's got a really
blah,
good
blah.
memory, is all.
Yeah, no.
In fact, he's got something that Cooper could really benefit from right now. A really good memory, so he could remember what Laura said in his fucking ear. But
I don't remember. Huh? Yeah, the one thing that would kind of be, you know, the I guess, you know, maybe it doesn't matter who killed her. Like maybe that is the point, is that like, yeah, obviously someone did the deed and did kill her. Well, yeah, in a very rough way though as well. It's not like this was just doing the job. Yeah, this was very bad. But maybe the idea is more of like that this is part of a larger thing. Yes, and that it is not just the one killer who's guilty. Obviously they're guilty and deserve I don't know, death by
but it might be indicting a bigger a bigger idea. Yeah, I get you. But yeah, next up, Harry tells Cooper about a drug running operation that they're trying to bust. The other night at the Roadhouse, Ed was on a stakeout, and Cooper's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were a deputy." And Harry's like, "Well, he's not." And Coop's like, "Well, that might be a little bit outside your jurisdiction, Ed. I think I might have an issue with that." And Harry's like, no, don't worry about it. But he tells them that they've lived here a long time, and they've been isolated from the world. He caught on that. Everybody catches on to it. And they like it that way. But there's an evil in the woods. And they aim to fight that evil as a part of a covenant that's been formed for going on over 20 years now. And Coop's super excited by this. He goes, a secret society. And they go ahead and head on over to the book house. And Harry says that they've been meeting here for about 20 years. James and another young man, Joey, who we did see escort Donna out of the Roadhouse a couple episodes ago. They have Bernard Renault, janitor at the Roadhouse, and younger brother of Jock, bound and gagged. They captured him after he came across the border that morning with an ounce of cocaine. He denies being a mule and says that the cocaine was for personal use, and his brother Jock is a bartender at the Roadhouse, and Bernard tells them to talk to his brother. And Cooper's like, okay, I don't really buy that. Why the fuck would you tell us where and when to find Jock? And it's because they won't be able to find him. He already warned Jock. Jock walked towards the Roadhouse, sees a red beacon, a flashing light on the roof, and runs on off. Another great shot there of Jock. When he's like coming down the street and he like his shadow sprawls out in front of him. Another one of those noir-esque, really great images. But yeah, he goes ahead and runs on off and gives Leo Johnson a call. Leo is in the kitchen scraping at a shoe with a knife, and the phone rings. Jock is on the other end demanding that Leo get him out. You know, the Bernard's in trouble. We got to get something going. And Leo's like, all right, cool out. I'll be right there. And Shelley walks in and Leo leaves. And Shelley's like, where are you going? And Leo's like, fuck off. I don't need to tell you shit.
Damn.
And that's when Shelley's like, all right then. Pulls out the gun.
Yeah. He's like, okay, you know what? Good purchase. I made a great purchase.
Yep. She's like, you just reassured me of every doubt I might have had. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the little hidden compartment that I have with your bloody ass shirt.
Yup.
That's great little hiding spot, by the way. Fantastic spot.
That's why, with the shirt, it could just be that's the one hiding spot she's got. But I was thinking, like, is she going to try to, like, frame him?
Is it a frame
some
job?
way?
I see.
But that involves probably someone else dying.
Yeah, and is she going to do that? Yeah,
like Laura was not shot.
Yeah, they would have found that.
So like I don't know how the frame job's possible. So it feels, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
What's the plan? What's the move? Yeah, I like the ideas you got going there. But next up, we're heading to the Martell house where Harry visits Josie, who says something horrible is going to happen. That Catherine and Benjamin want to hurt her. She heard them talking. They have something planned. And Catherine eavesdrops over the intercom. Josie explains that it might have something to do with Andrew's death. Maybe it wasn't an accident. There's a hidden safe. They have 2 ledgers. They have different numbers, and they open it, but one of them is missing. And Josie's like, I promise that there's another. And Harry's like, no problem. I believe you 100%, but I literally can't do a thing about it until we find the other ledger, And Catherine holds the second book and hides it in a hidden compartment in her drawer, which is pimp, by the way.
Yeah, that
super
was
cool.
Got to give it to him.
Got to give it to her. Yeah.
Yeah. This is. I don't know. I very. It seemed
I don't have anything I would really need to use this for, but I would like it.
Yeah, I guess other than hiding a ledger. I don't keep a ledger for anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
Or need to.
I'm
really
not cooking
hide.
books,
Yeah. I don't. I don't know what I need to hide.
I don't have books to cook. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
At least that's what I want you to think.
Sadly, Catherine's got, a brain on her. It seems like,
Catherine's savvy.
Mm-hmm.
She's intelligent. She can get her done, and she catches Pete. Pete walks in to ask about his tackle box, and Catherine is like, "All right, Pete. Next time you want to look in my safe and conspire with the Merry Widow, how about you just ask me to my fucking face?" And he goes, "All right, maybe I'll go." And he goes ahead and heads on out. But
he says, "I'll check the truck." I think he puts his hat on. I think he's like,
truck.
"I'm fucking out of here," and I want to know.
I'm sleeping in my room tonight. Yeah. No,
that's what I was. I don't know. Does Pete have someone that he goes to? Actually, Does
Pete have another secret love? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I dig it.
Like Catherine's obviously doing her thing.
Catherine doing her thing. Josie's doing her thing. Harry's doing his thing. Shelley's doing her thing. Bobby's doing his thing. James doing his thing. Donna's doing her thing. Everybody's doing their thing.
You're right. But who's old? Let's see. Pete. He's old.
Hey, but
Sarah.
Who knows what Pete's got on him like that? Maybe
tell me it's not Sarah. Tell me it's not Laura's mother.
That'd be brutal.
I'm just trying to think of anyone in the age range.
Right.
And I don't think it's Donna's mom. No offense to but I Pete's a nice. Yeah, I don't know. But,
Doc Hayward's a great man. She doesn't need to be. She doesn't need to be looking around. Yeah,
that's the one relationship where actually no one's doing their own thing. They're just actually a stable family.
Sarah and Leland obviously have a whole other thing going on. With a dead daughter and all that good stuff. But
they seem stable, I guess, before.
Relatively,
or maybe.
For sure.
There's no way to know, I guess, for me, but seems like they would have been.
They've got a weird, Sarah's like, do you have to ruin this too? I know he did the whole dance thing and he broke the frame and got blood on her picture, but is like that enough to be like you ruin everything? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't. It could be Sarah. That's crazy. Pete. Good old Pete percolator.
And maybe she's dead, wrapped in plastic. Maybe that adds. Maybe he's Laura's secret father. Maybe there's something to consider there. Maybe there's something to consider there.
Damn, Pete is fucking. Pete's the real Mr. Studio Girl. I thought.
I love throwing shit out there when I obviously know, and I also wouldn't throw things out there that are true.
Yeah.
But what if I would? Now I've got you thinking. Now I've got you on your toes.
Pete seems to actually know a little more. He seems he
Pete's
might
got
be
a brain on him.
He's
got the thing going on. But there's some more inner workings, machinations in there. But later on, Cooper watches over the new grave, and Dr. Jacoby, wearing a hat and cloak, approaches with a garland of flowers. And Cooper says he didn't see Jacoby at the funeral earlier that day. The psychiatrist admits, I'm a terrible person, Cooper. I listen to the people, I listen to their problems, but I don't actually care. I don't care at all. But then Laura came along, and she changed all that. And Cooper kind of takes this to heart. Does it make him a little bit more of a suspect? Yes, but with Cooper's kind of intuition, is he writing him off a little bit? Like, okay, I don't think Jacoby had anything to do with this.
I think at least that's where it might feel, if he's saying this out of character, like that he doesn't care, and like it's truly not himself. Like I feel like that's his cover up of why he didn't come to the funeral. Like I'm a terrible person.
But he does indicate that Laura changed that. Like he started to care because of Laura. He says, "I loved her." I loved her.
That's true. I don't know why he would be involved. I
love a
the part that Albert's report that just was like, huh? Like, okay, interesting conclusion. Was the industrial soap
the kiss the angle
thing, and to know that, and I guess it would be weird to just wash just that part of Laura, like just to wash her neck. it feels. I guess it does make sense that it would come from someone else's hands,
and it would probably be different if it was like they could probably tell if her neck was expressly washed with the soap, like there was particles of the soap found, not necessarily like, and they obviously scrubbed her neck clean,
But if Leo's involved in the killing, I don't feel like. I don't know. He could be involved in the sexual abuse part, but I feel like he's just the guy that's tying him up, kind of just whatever, doing the job if he's kind of there. I feel like the rapist is actually unknown, is one that I don't know yet, or maybe not apparent, but it feels like if Jacoby is involved, he's there to see it. He's just a freak that wants to like witness, and he'd be the one to kiss her or something like that. Because I that's like. I don't know, to kiss someone like that. They
did show that he has a certain degree of intimacy with his patients with Johnny earlier when they touched foreheads and stuff. Doesn't feel romantic strictly; it just feels like a deep connection. But
because it doesn't feel. At least it doesn't feel like a rapist would kiss someone like that. Or maybe it's a freaky like start to it all. It's like I don't know, but like it feels like that's a weird detail to throw in the report. To be like, I don't know, like it feels like but I have no idea the implications of it. Really is like why industrial soap just to hide. Like it's not like they're gonna get fingerprints on her neck, or like what's the purpose of washing their just blood? Is there so much blood? Like I don't know. Like I feel like
and does the washing of the hands have to be explicitly connected to this? Like all he says is that the killer did wash his hands and also touched her neck. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he expressly washed his hands so that he could touch her neck or something, know?
That's true. That's true. Industrial soap. Either medical or where else would you find industrial fucking soap? The mill? The only industry that's shown?
Okay. Much to think about, much to consider. A
kiss.
Yeah. You think on that. But we'll go to another kiss where Josie and Harry, they discuss the potential that Benjamin wanted the land, so they had someone kill her husband and all that stuff, and now she's worried that they'll kill her too. And Harry reassures her, not as long as I'm here. And another great shot where they lower into the screen and kiss on the floor and stuff. Very intimate, very cute. Love me some Harry and Josie. But last part of the episode is Cooper and Hawk sitting in the hotel room discussing the existence of the soul. Hawk, do you believe in the soul? He says several. Cooper's like, okay, you're my kind of man. Let's talk about it, Hawk.
Expect that answer. He's like, that is an answer I've never gotten.
He's like, let's talk about it, Hawk. And he says he believes in the dream soul also. And he's like, what do you think the dream soul is? And so because obviously he's deeply interested in the dream soul right now. But they're interrupted when Leland's standing among the dancers. He's just kind of standing there, breathing heavy and all this stuff, and then it switches to that big band music that made him go into a little bit of a mode when he spun around with the picture in the last episode, and he tries to get someone to dance with him. Please dance with me, please. And everyone's like, whoa, you fucking weirdo, you are so strange, I hate, like, get out of my face. It's Come on now.
For the slightest second, I thought Cooper was getting up to dance with him. I thought he was going to be the one to be like, all right, calm down. Like, I thought he was going to take his hand or something. But yeah, no.
One of those things where you can tell, someone dancing with him isn't going to fix it. He probably needs to go home. So Cooper and Hawk pull him up and they take him out of there and send him on his way. And the credits roll. So... I ask you at the end of episode 4, who killed Laura Palmer?
Yes. Yes.
Do you have any new suspects? Do you feel like someone new has entered the scene, or is it more of the same?
Well, I guess I had Bob, Mike, and Leo as being in the. I feel like Dr. Jacoby could be maybe not physically. I don't know. Maybe he was in the room. I have I don't know. Like maybe he was the one who kissed her. Is the only. I can't think of anything other. But industrial. Why would he have industrial soap? I don't know. He's a weirdo. Fucking. He was at the hospital.
He is a weirdo. Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe him. Could be another potential in the room kind of cuck style, maybe.
Yeah, bro likes watching.
The kind of vibes I get.
That's the kind of thing he's into.
Mm-hmm. And then, this jock, maybe the coke, kind of boss. It feels like. I feel like at first I said maybe Ben Horn gave the order. I feel like whoever. Or was it just the bartender that they were saying? Is that who they were referring to? No, yeah.
How
much does blank pay you to be the mule?
Jacques.
Jock. So it's how much does your brother pay you to be the mule?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they weren't referring to. So Jock is like he's the mastermind of this coke thing. I thought. Oh, I guess I thought that. Jock, I guess I didn't know that was his brother. I thought that was like a separate character that they were referring to, like,
Bernard is his younger brother who is a janitor.
And
he was caught crossing the border with an ounce.
Okay. Yeah, and he's But Jock, they say that Jock just seems to be the middleman.
Yeah, so
like that there is someone.
There's a little bit of a mystery there still as to who runs the game, but Jock's an important piece of the puzzle there for the drug smuggling operation for sure.
Yeah, running a bar, I feel like that's pretty big. Good distribution there, and such. But yeah, they does seem not like the boss, and that. I wonder, would they be in the town? It feels like, at least to me, it felt like unknown there across the border, even perhaps.
Right.
Or one-armed man. What is he up to? The fuck is he? That's right. I had one weird thought of smuggling drugs through the morgue. Or something like a tunnel. Yeah. I don't know. If the one-armed man is connected, is that just I still am getting Bob and Mike in the dream confused.
Mike is the one-armed dreamer. Yeah.
Mike is one arm. So, and that is, I mean, they did look very like this. It's
the same actor portraying Mike and the one-armed man. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so I will.
That at least feels more like, it's not the Bobby and Mike that we know. Like, it is present day. He's talking to him. And the same, I don't know. But he, I don't know. He doesn't feel like he would be the boss of this cocaine stuff. I don't know. And I guess maybe he could be. And the morgue having, like, no. Because I'm like, I don't know. Is it in their bodies, and that's how they're smuggling cocaine? But like, how do you get the cocaine out of someone's body? Like if it's just in their system.
Unless Dr. Hayward performing autopsies. I'm just fucking with you. Really,
that dude's a pure soul. He's the
Doc Hayward's a good man,
or the beacon of Twin Peaks. I don't know. He's nothing. I can't. There's nothing.
That's the good man. That
he
is
will
a good
remain
man.
Good. He has to. There's always, I don't know. There's some people who are just good. I feel like he's one of them. Sheriff's one of them.
Yeah. Coop's one of them.
But yeah. I guess overall, Jacoby would be the only one added in. And then
Jock is starting to creep into suspicion a little bit as you don't know enough about him yet to commit to it, but you're like, this guy seems interesting and could be involved. Yeah.
And then Mike, I guess the one-armed man, that is he's just mysterious overall. He has to be involved in something.
Yeah, right.
And so,
I mean, yeah, given the presence in the dream speaking to him, he is important. Yeah, but all right, then I think we can conclude this episode of Fire Pod with me there. And we will be back next week with episode 5, and I'm so very excited. We've reached the halfway point in season 1. We've only got half of it to go, and then 22 episodes in season 2, so certainly nowhere near done, but plenty to go, and I'm so very, very excited. I think with that, we can conclude. Leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. Go ahead and subscribe so you can get those automatic downloads going. That'd be great. Share with a friend who needs to watch Twin Peaks or has watched Twin Peaks. We would love to have them. Hell yeah. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. Leave a review. Ask that question. Follow me on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. Hit me up. Tag me. At me. Let's talk. I want to talk about Twin Peaks, and we're doing it here on FirePod with me. So come back week after week where we will be covering this shit for a while, because we're going to do all of season 1, all of season 2. We're going to do a few books. We're going to do Fire Walk with Me, the movie. We are going to do The Return. We got a lot planned. So keep on coming back. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fix your hearts or die.